Alright, so the first thing, when you come in tomorrow, you're going to be told to clear your calculators again. Once you clear your calculators, what do you need to do? Oh, y'all can totally answer my questions, by the way. You need to go to degree mode. So you're going to go to mode, arrow down to degrees, make sure you hit enter.
Yeah.
Alright, so from there, am I going to give you any questions this easy?
No.
Maybe. Maybe. Alright, sine of 21. Hey, remember when I said no talking? I meant it. Thank you. Alright, the biggest problem y'all are going to have here is rounding. So, it tells you round 4 decimal places. So this answer is going to be 0.358. My 4th decimal place is 3. So right after that is a 6. It's going to go to 4. Sine of 68 is going to be 0.927. It's a 1. After it's an 8, so it's going to go to a 2. Cosine of 85, 0.087. After the 1 is a 5, so it's going to be a 2. And then tan of 15 is 0.267. After the 9 is a 4, so it can stay a 9. I'm not going to worry about those. Now, if I have cosine of blank equals a number, how do I deal with this? I have to do inverse. So I'm going to do second cosine, and I'm going to type in exactly what I see. Now for an angle, we're going to just round to the 10th. So 31 point, after the 6 is a 1. What's missing? Why is this wrong? Degrees. Okay. Inverse tan of 0.3520. It's going to be 19 point, after the 3 is a 9. So what's that going to go to? A 4 degrees. And then second cosine, 0.1196. Oh. 0.1196 gives me 83 point. It's 1. After the 1 is a 3, so I'm going to keep it a 1. Alright, and this will be 30.2. Real quick, just a reminder, what if you get something that's like 0.98? What are you going to have to do? You make it go up, and then you're going to put 0.0. So if it's not perfect, please put 0.0. For these, again, I want to know the angle. What are you going to do here? What do I do?
What?
Somebody. I want to know the angle.
Inverse.
Inverse, thank you. So inverse tan, 1 divided by 2 gives me 26.6 degrees. Inverse cosine, the square root of 2 divided by 2 is 45 degrees. Hey, what happens with these ends, y'all?
They cancel out.
They cancel out. So I'm just going to inverse tan. 5 over 4 is 51.3 degrees. Hey, y'all, whispering is still talking. Okay. Most people mess up right here. When I ask for a ratio, what am I asking for? When I ask for a ratio, what am I asking for? Not subtraction. A fraction. Oh, that's what you said. A fraction. So tan of x. The only thing I really need to label here is the hypotenuse. Tan of x is opposite over adjacent. So 6, it's across from the 90. Hypotenuse is always across from 90. 6 over 4. Is that my answer? Why not? You can reduce it to 3 over 2. Cosine of y. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So it's going to be 6 over 2 square roots of 13. That can reduce to 3. But I have to rationalize. So I'm going to get 3 square roots of 13 over 13. I can't reduce that, so that's my answer. The sine of y. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So 4 over 2 square roots of 13. Again, I can reduce those. And then I got to rationalize. So I get 2 square roots of 13 over 13, which again, can't reduce. But what if I want the measure of angle x? That means I want a degree. Which method do I use for x? Alright, how do I find angle X here? Which method do I use? I'm given everything, so does it matter which method I use? It's strictly up to you. If I don't know which one do y'all like using best? Tan. So the tan of X, that's my personal favorite too. Tan is opposite over hypotenuse, so that's 6 over 4. How do I solve for X? Inverse. So I'm going to go to second tan, 6 over 4, and that's going to give me 56.3 degrees. Alright, for these on the quiz, again, where we messed up mostly was rounding or writing the equation. If this is X, I have opposite and I have hypotenuse. What's that? So sine of X equals opposite over hypotenuse. If it's your X, if you're looking for the angle, then you need to inverse. So I'm going to inverse sine 5 over 9, which gives me 33.7 degrees. 19, here's my angle. I have opposite and hypotenuse again. So the sine of 63 equals opposite over hypotenuse. When X is on top, what am I going to do if X is on top? Multiply. So I'm going to get 15 sine of 63. What does that give me? And it's a side link, so I'm going to round to the nearest thousandth. How many decimal places is that? 3 decimal places. Alright, next one. My angle, I have adjacent and hypotenuse. What's that? Cosine. So the cosine of X equals adjacent over hypotenuse. Again, if it's my X, what do I do? Inverse. So second cosine 19.3 divided by 20 gives me, what does that say? 15.2. It's an angle, so I only do the tenths. Going to a different color here. Here's my angle. What do I have? Opposite and adjacent. What's opposite and adjacent? Tangent. So the tan of 54 gives me 8 over X. What about when X is on bottom? What do? You switch. Oh, I forgot to write over here. If X is on top, what did we say to do? Multiply. So I have to literally switch these around, and I'm going to do 8 divided by the tan of 54. What is X going to equal? 5.812. If X is right here, I have opposite and adjacent. Again, what's that? Tangent of X equals opposite over, is that 15? Adjacent. If X is the angle, what do? Inverse. Am I getting redundant here? Y'all know what redundant means? 0.2 degrees. Alright, last one I'm going to do like this. Here's my angle. What do I have? Adjacent and hypotenuse. What's that? So the cosine of 42 gives me adjacent over hypotenuse. What did we say happens if X is on bottom? Switch them. So I'm going to have 8 divided by the cosine of 42. And how many decimal places am I going to round? 10.765. Alright. I'm not going to talk as I do these. If you have any questions, say something. But please stay quiet unless you have questions. Yes, I'm still recording, so stay quiet. Do I have any questions about my equations? All right. Shh, y'all. X is on bottom. What do I do? Switch them around. So I'm going to get 14 divided by sine of 64. Gives me that. X is on top. What do I do? Multiply 21 times cosine of 50. And X is on top. Multiply. Okay? Alright, I feel like we're good. I'm going to move on to the word problems. You're going to have, boys, you're going to have 6 word problems that you have like 2 points for picture, 2 points for work, stuff like that. There will be 6 of them. A ladder is 5 meters long, so I'm going to draw a ladder. And it's leaning against a vertical wall that makes a 65-degree angle with the ground. So 65 is going to go there. Guys, I had somebody write 65 here. Why is that wrong? That's the 90 degree. I want to know how high on the wall does the ladder reach? So how high up does it reach? What do I know that I didn't label? What do I know that how long is the ladder? 5 meters. So what am I going to use if I have this? I have opposite and hypotenuse, so what's that? So the sine of 65 gives me opposite over hypotenuse. X is on top. What do I do? Multiply. 5 times sine of 65. Hey, I'm almost done. Y'all are getting reckless. Stay quiet, please. What's my X going to be? 4.532 what? Meters. Don't forget your units or you will count off. For B, then I want to know how far is the foot of the ladder from the wall. I'm going to call that Y. What am I going to do now? What do I have now? Adjacent hypotenuse. What's that? So the cosine of 65 is the adjacent over the hypotenuse. Y is up top. What do I do? 5 cosine of 65. Shh, y'all. Why is this wrong? Why is my Y wrong? Meters. Next one. John wants to measure the height of a tree. He walks exactly 100 feet from the base. Oh, I would definitely look at this question if I were you. Like everybody in this room. I would 100% watch me do this. John wants to measure the height of the tree. He walks exactly 100 feet from the base of the tree and looks up. So here's my tree. Here's John. The angle on the ground at the top of the tree is 33 degrees. Which equation below, I think that's supposed to say can, be used to find the height of the tree? I want to know how tall the tree is. Y'all, you're going to see this problem again. What do I have here? I have the angle and what else? The adjacent. What do I need to find? Opposite. So what am I going to use? So it would be tan of 33 gives me opposite over adjacent. Which answer is correct? C. Tan of 33. Is that x over 100 though? So B isn't right because it's not x over 100. And A is not right because it's sine. And, whoa, none of these are right. Yeah. Y'all, look up. None of these are right.
C is right.
Except one of them is. Why?
Because you have to figure out the other angle.
Can't I figure out that if this is 33, what's this?
90.
P.S. I want to remind you, if you do not have an angle sign on your test, I'm counting off of your picture. Let me say that again. If you don't have a 90-degree angle on your test, I'm counting off of your picture. If this is 33, what's up here then? 57. Hey, that can be heard in the video. Okay, if my angle is 57, what do I now have? Opposite and. So what would tan of 57 equal? 100 over x, which is what? C. Do you see how you can use the other
Yeah, it
information?
took me a long time to see that.
Okay. Alright, a building is 50 feet high. Here's my building. And at a distance away from the building, an observer notices that the angle of elevation to the top of the building is 41. What's the key thing about angle of elevation or depression? It has to be from the horizontal line. This is a horizontal line, so 41 degrees. How far is the observer from the base of the building? So what do I have here?
A building with an X and a hole.
But what information?
Wait,
What's this?
that's
And this?
Oh,
So what do I have?
10 of 41 equals 50 over 8.
If x is on bottom, what do I
You
do?
gotta switch them.
Switch them. I'm going to divide. So I'm going to do 50 divided by 10 of 41. So I get 58.518, but that's wrong.
No, it's 57.
Oh, 57, thank you. But why is that wrong? Units. What's my units here? Feet. Alright, last problem. A bird sits atop a lamppost. So here's my lamppost. I can't really draw birds, so we'll pretend it's a bee. The angle of depression from all of that is 35. How do we feel about that?
Wait, it's at the horizontal.
Okay, it has to be the horizontal. So this picture is wrong. How can I redraw it? Here's my lamppost. Here is my triangle. Okay? The distance from the bird to the observer is 25 meters. Where does that go? The bird to the person is 25 meters. How tall is the lamppost? Where does my X go?
Do we have to draw it?
You could draw it the other way, but you would have to put the 35 right here for it to be right. That would be acceptable. What? No, I want to know how far the bird is from the observer. The observer's chilling down here. So that would be 25 feet.
Yeah,
No, the distance from the bird is right here, and the observer's down here. So that's 25 meters. What? No, this is the lamppost. My person's chilling down here.
Yeah, isn't it? But aren't you supposed to be looking for the horizontal?
Yeah.
No, I want to know how tall the lamppost is. This is my lamppost.
Yeah, but why did you have to?
But if you draw it like this,
We're talking about the 25, where you put it.
Right, the 25 is right here because if here's my bird, here's my person that's chilling looking at it. The bird to the person is 25 meters. No, I'm telling you that's what it is.
wait, shouldn't the 25 be on the bottom?
No, that's how far the person is from the lamppost. That it says the distance from the bird to the observer. Bird, observer. So I have hypotenuse, and what else do I have? Opposite. So what is that? So I have sine of 35 equals opposite over hypotenuse. And what do I do when x is on top?
Times by 25.
And I get 14.339. What's wrong with that? Meters. All right. Thank you very much.